Hello, my friends. Liberty Garden coming to you from the house with a different kind of video today. So today I'm planning my workout sessions for the next coming weeks. I've been training since October of 2021. I did about 6 months, and I stopped in March of 2022. Then I took a break, a whole year break, and I started training back in March of 23. I went steadily all the way to about October, and then I started missing sessions and doing 2 months, and taking a week off, and going back at it, and then taking another week or two off, so on and so forth. So fast forward to today, I started back at it uh, in full about 3 weeks ago, and I've just kind of started accelerating to the place I left off. So I started running my numbers all the way to where I had left off, and now I'm at a point where I am no longer able to make progress at the same pace that I was making progress before. So I think I am very close to hitting the end stage of the novice stage or the novice progression, and I probably will be making a jump to the intermediate stage, which requires a little bit of programming change on my part. I can no longer be adding 5 pounds to the bar every workout. Uh, so just to give you an idea, for example, the squat, if today was 200, next session would be 205, and next session would be 210. So that's getting a little heavy. So I'm gonna make some changes so that I can keep on progressing and not get burnt out. Uh, I keep a log of my workouts at a place called mystrengthlevel.com. You can see the link on this document, and in there uh, they have the standards for by weight and by age. So I'm picking the standards for the intermediate based on my age, because if I go by my weight, obviously 210-pound male of 30 years old is not the same as a 210-pound male in his 50s. So I'm going by my age, and that's what I'm using to set my next goals for intermediate, which I'm not far from, but I'm not there yet. So you get an idea. My current deadlift is 275 for 5 reps, and my squat is 205 for 5 reps for 3 sets. The goal is for an intermediate would be 300 uh, on the deadlift and 255 on the squat. They measure it as a max, so like a one rep max, which I can blow this number on the deadlift as a one rep max, but that's not what I want to do. So I want to get to 300, but doing five reps, and 255 also doing 5 reps. Maybe not 3 sets, but 5 reps. And that's just my personal choice. I don't really care for single maxes. So that's one objective. I got 3 objectives on this next stage of programming. The next one is that I want to reduce the differential between the deadlift and the squat to no more than 60 pounds. So if you see right now, my deadlift is 275 and my squat is 205. So there's a 70-pound differential. It's okay right now, uh, but these exercises, they work together. You get stronger on one, you get stronger on the other. But it's very easy for the deadlift to get ahead of you. I can easily do 315 right now, I believe, uh, but I cannot do 255 per se on the squat, or I would struggle quite a bit. So I'm going to let the squat lead the pace on this one. and that's just because I think that's a safer bet for me, right? It's very easy to overextend yourself on the deadlift because the weight is sitting on the floor, and well, you might decide to pull it, right? And you might think that you can pull it, and you may or may not be able to do it, or you may hurt your back. You may you may come out of extension and maybe just hurt your back a little bit. So, but if you're within about 50 to 60 pounds, if your squat is within about 50 to 60 pounds of your deadlift, then the risk of you injuring your back on the deadlift is very minimal. So right now, if I'm able to, let's say for example, when I'm at 300, a safe squat would be 240, right? Then you can easily do it, and you can pretty much be guaranteed that you're not going to hurt your back. So that's the reason why I'm trying to narrow this gap to 60 or under. That's the objective, and I'll show you how I'm going to accomplish that, and just in a minute. So goal three is basically to reach 315 on the deadlift by five, and 260 by five on the squat. That's in the next 8 weeks. And if you can see here, that would be a 65. What's it? 40. That's a 55 pound differential, I believe. I think so. 60, 40. Yeah, 65, 60, 55 pound differential. So that's the objective. Uh, I'm gonna see if I can do it. The hard part here is the squat. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can do 315 right now. Uh, the hard part is the 260 on the squat. That's always a little harder. And the reason I'm letting the squad lead the pace is because you're a lot more hesitant to get under heavy weight than you are to pulling the weight off the ground, right? It's not the same thing to pull on a bar that's sitting on the ground as getting under a bar that has 250 pounds or 300 pounds on it, and you're gonna get on it, lift it up, and then squat it. It's a whole different psychological game. So I'm leaning with the squat. So this is the 8 week plan. So right now I've been increasing my deadlift every session by 10 pounds. So it has been like 240, 250, 260, 270, etc. Right? Uh, so I'm getting to a point where I cannot do that anymore. I can probably get away with it for one more week, but it would be kind of taxing on my back. I don't want to do it. I'm still not as conditioned as I was when I left off. So I'm going to take a little bit easier now. It doesn't matter because eventually the weight will catch up to wherever you need to be. So I'm going to go, right now my current is 275 on the deadlift. That was last Friday. So I'm going to go with 280 on a Wednesday. And instead of doing heavy deadlifts 3 times a week like I was doing before because I was just catching up, uh, I'm going to do on Wednesdays. I'm going to do the heavy, and then maybe on Monday I do an accessory to the squat, maybe pull-ups or rows, and then on Friday I'll do 90% of this 280. So on 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 Friday I would be doing 28 pounds less of this, or 30 pounds, so 250 basically. So it would be like, let's say on Monday I do rows, Wednesday I do 280, and then on Friday I do 80% of 280, which is about 250, right? So that gives me time to rest, recover, because the deadlift can get pretty taxing after if you're always doing it heavy. And then on Mondays and Fridays, I'll keep upping the squat by 5 pounds. I still think I have plenty of gas left in my tank for the squat. So I'm gonna go like Monday. So the week of the 21st will be 280 on the deadlift, and then Monday will be 210 on the squat. Easy day on Wednesday, which would be about 80%, which happens to be when the day I do heavy on the deadlift, and then on Friday I go up another 5 pounds to 215, and my delta between the squat and the deadlift is 65 pounds here. Next week, 285, and I go 220, 225. The delta narrows to 60, and after 225, I'm gonna start going a little slower. So instead of going 10 pounds per week, I'm gonna go 5 pounds per week now. So here on the week of the 5th of May, I do 290, so another 5 pounds to the bar, and then I do 230, and on Friday I only increment by 2.5 pounds, right? So and then the week after 295, and so on and so forth, right? So you can see all this here. Uh, in about a month, I should hit the 300-pound intermediate standard, and then 2 weeks later, I should hit the 255 pounds for the squat intermediate standard. These 2.5 variations are, just they look good on paper. Well, my weights are all lopsided. I mean, there's a margin of error. My weight's about 3 to 4% on my plate, so I'm just putting it on paper to have something to go by. I'll try to stay as close as possible to these weights in the with the plates that I have, and that's the plan. Hopefully, I can get to 315, which is basically 345-pound plates on each side of the bar, and to 255 or maybe 260 on the squat. This is a this is a tough one for me. The squats are always a little more difficult than the deadlift. For now, I'm not going to touch the bench press or the press. I'm still making good progress on those. I'm at very early stages of that, so I'm going to focus more on the deadlift and the squat. Okay, folks, this is the programming I'm following, and it's not just get under a bar whenever you feel like it and start working out. You kind of have to draft out a plan, follow a program to make progress. Otherwise, you are exercising but not necessarily training. So if you want to train, you got to keep a log, keep measure your progress basically, and be consistent. The biggest enemies to the deadlift and the squat, anything actually, I mean anything. The biggest enemy is not the weight, is the inconsistency. I mean, because that's just you're always going back to catch up, always going back to catch up. So hopefully, I don't get any injuries or I don't get sick or go out of town on business or something. Hopefully, I think I have 8 weeks that are pretty much free right now, and I can make some progress, and and then we'll go from there. At this point, I'll probably have to make a few other changes to my deadlift and squat. Most likely, the deadlift may not be able to keep on going at 5 pounds per week. I may have to do 2.5 pounds, etc. I'll get to the bridge when I'll cross the bridge when I get to it. Right now, I'm not sure, but definitely the squat's gonna have to go another revision in 8 weeks, because as it is, it feels to me like I'm going to struggle a little bit once I get past 240. I think my all-time high has been 250. I think back when I was doing this more dedicated back in 22. But again, we'll see. It's an uphill battle, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get there a little bit slowly, but surely. Anyway, uh, thanks for watching. Until next time.